I would think, a judge that connected to one of the victims in the case. First and foremost, I want to get your thoughts on that aspect of it, the fact that he contributed to her campaign, worked for her family on a number of occasions. She offered condolences after the event or the incident. So your thoughts on her not recusing herself from this case?
You know, I don't know. I'm troubled by it. For starters, it'd be very easy to recuse yourself, right? It would just go on to another judge. Justice would be served. This would be no issue. But on the other hand, she's actually hit on the standard. Okay, she said that she could render a fair and impartial, process. She could overlook this case, and that she will. And not only that, but the implications are actually quite slight, right? She reached out to him. He didn't even know who she was, and it was on an unrelated matter. It wasn't on this case. It was on due to his daughter's death, right? Another is the fact that it was really attenuated, right? The relationship was very, very far out, and it's not a direct relationship with the victim. It's the victim's father. All in all, it's to say that she's not recusing herself, and it's because she's determined that she could render a fair and impartial trial, and that is the standard. That's what we need from this judge.
A lot of people online didn't understand why the judge herself was able to make that determination. How many of us are going to be as honest, to say that, well, I don't think I can be fair and impartial here, especially a judge whose job it is. Job one is to be fair and impartial. Why does she get to make that decision? Why not someone else or a panel or some other way to deal with that issue?
Yeah, a lot of times every jurisdiction, every county kind of has its own process as to how it deals with this, but actually most judges will recuse themselves, okay? And so this is actually a process that the Judicial Committee will often go through. And not only that, we have the appellate process. We have any real steep issues, you can take it up on appeal. There will be a panel of judges there that overlook this. So, to be overly worried about this at this junction, I think would be premature.
Yeah, and but at the end of the day, remember, it's not just impropriety, it's the appearance of impropriety. You want the appearances to be right. I'm not sure that's available here. Also, I want to talk about the change of venue quickly. Let me bring up part of the motion filed by Brooks's attorneys seeking this change of venue. Essentially says an impartial trial cannot be held in Waukesha County. The effects of this incident on Waukesha community and its collective response are so profound and pervasive that venue must be changed to ensure that Darrell Brooks receives an impartial jury. Just some of the things, Matthew. There was a rallying point, a whole campaign called Waukesha Strong in response to this. So many people in the community were affected by it. There's memorials for the dead, lots of negative publicity, lots of video of Brooks in chains. These are all the things cited by the defense. In your idea, do you think this is a perfect example of where either an impartial jury is impaneled somewhere else and brought in, or perhaps this is moved to another venue? Is that appropriate in this case?
I personally think that we should move venue, okay? They should really move venue in this case. But you also have to remember, this county has an interest in getting this conviction and vindicating for its citizens. And so there's arguments on both sides of this fence, on both sides of this dilemma. But I do think that the incident it's far too obnoxious. It's far too loud. It's affected way too many people. And for you to get an impartial jury here, I think it's going to be much harder. You're going to waste a ton of judicial economy trying to do that, and at the end you might have a ton of appellate issues. So it would be a small headache to go and get another county and a change of venue versus the prejudice that I think this defendant faces.
Fair enough, but the judge has decided to try. She's ordered them to send out questionnaires. She's going to try to get an impartial jury, and probably the right approach, considering, as you said, this community wants to be the ones to stand in judgment of this guy. All right, Matthew Barhoma, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. We'll see you again soon.